have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes. Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes.
Gosh, I didn't even realize I was muted, y'all. Sorry. So I wanted to come on here and do this video because I've been getting a lot of messages regards to this Larry Reid situation with his ex-worker and ex-lover. So I'm not surprised behind this situation that has come out because I have always known some things about Larry Reid, which I don't even care to discuss. And you guys, especially his followers, I mean, you guys should already know that it's some things about Larry Reid that just don't add up. Even the situation with the alleged sexual assault with the guy that he states he didn't do it. But what I want to do is I want to get into this video that this guy posted, which is an ex-employee of his. Not only is he an ex-employee of Larry Reid, he's stating that him and Larry Reid was in a sexual relationship for years. So I want to really get into that because he broke some things down. And again, I was not surprised by anything he had to say. So let's jump into
spiritual abuse. I've gained a wealth of knowledge and a new perspective. But most of all, it's caused me to clearly see how silence is complicity. Thus, my silence, though serving me, has not served the masses. So as the universe wills, I am presented an opportunity to come clean. Let me start by apologizing to all that have been affected by what I'm about to address, but suffered long because of my silence. I must also seize the moment to offer my apologies to one person in particular, Elisa Dunn. I know what it is to play a part in a network where victims were created. And to be honest with you, I didn't say anything at all. And it's one of my biggest regrets. It's the reason why I'm really doing this video. Specifically, there are two people that I carry in my heart because I should have spoke up and I didn't. And though I think it's too late to stir the waters now, I want to say to you two specifically, I am so sorry. It will be self-explanatory by the end of this episode why I needed to apologize to Lisa. By the way, hi, my name is Vincent Terrell Hill. Some call me Buddha. Some call me V. Terrell Hill. And for some of you, you call me Elder Vincent Terrell Hill. I worked with Larry Reid from Larry Reid Live from 2003 to 2018. In that time, I was everything from a personal assistant, executive assistant. I traveled statewide and internationally. But most importantly, I am the creator and originator of the Larry Reid Live show. Throughout those 15 years, 13 years were spent in a sexual relationship with Larry Reid. For a while, I believed I was the only one, or rather, the only man. However, Larry made me aware after our sexual relationship was over, I wasn't. I will disclose the other men in the church he's had some sort of sexual relationship with outside of me as we move forward. Most of what I say in this video is provable. Everything else I saw with my own eyes or those directly connected to it told me. None of this is secondhand information.
You did take my comment on how many years in your ass. So it's my students in you.
Yes. While he was married, pastoring, traveling the road, working with me on Larry Reid Live, we maintained an ongoing sexual relationship. That, to my knowledge, only he, Shumako Bryant, and myself was aware of from 2005 to approximately 2017 when I cut off the sexual relationship. Shumako didn't like our relationship.
I know, but you love both of us, but which one decided him to didn't like our relationship?
More on Shumako later. Now you may ask, where did I get these audio clips from? Late night on January the 15th, 2023, Larry drove to my house to have a conversation with me months after him and I stopped communicating because he halted payment on an arrangement agreed upon for years of work I did during my 13 years of service with Larry, the Breakthrough Church, Breakthrough Temple, and all of the iterations thereof, including Larry Reid Live. If you remember January the 15th, 2023, you may also remember LeAndre Andrews. He was being interviewed by Tdjakes, premiering in parts on YouTube, but in full on her website that same night. That night, he texted me out of nowhere wanting to talk and saying he will pay me my money that he owes me. Now, one might feel it was hush money. However, he attributed his desire to talk to a dream he had, and he felt led to text me and to meet with me. Now, speaking of LeAndre Andrews, let's go ahead and air this out real quick. If honest, LeAndre and Larry would corroborate this one thing. I had no idea LeAndre had accused Larry of molesting him 2 years later. To this day, I haven't received a clear answer from Larry or anyone in Larry's camp why no one told me when I was literally the guy that handled all of the, or most of the fires rather, in the church. When Larry finally told me what happened around 2017 or something like that, 16 or 17, approximately 16 or 17, it was a very super generic story that I believed LeAndre was lying because I remember LeAndre being a lying teenager in the church. So I just chucked it off and went on about my business. After leaving the Larry Reid Live community in 2018, someone prompted me, you need to go speak to LeAndre. He feels like you helped Larry cover up his story. And I said, huh? So I reached out to LeAndre just simply to let him know I didn't find out till many years later, only to realize that phone call brought me more than what I bargained for. Once LeAndre gave me his side of the story, significant parts of it startled me because it mirrored the same sexual experiences I had with Larry Reid. See, Larry is a voyeur. He loves to see people naked. Daquan recounts a time that Larry purchased him new underwear and wanted to see him in the underwear. LeAndre recounted a time where Larry asked him to clean up his room in his underwear. What LeAndre didn't know up until now, and he still doesn't know, he's hearing this while you're hearing this, I knew he was telling the truth the whole time. Because I too was requested by Larry to do the exact same thing many a times. Although I wasn't there, I said to Larry, as it relates to LeAndre, here's what I said to Larry. Either you did something to LeAndre or you provided the inappropriate details of your bedroom fetishes to a young member in the church. Either way, you are dirty, dog, wrong.
One of the things that always bothers me about this LeAndre thing is one thing and one thing only. When I talked to him back in 17, 18, he said something that was eerily similar to our experience. And I asked you about it, and you said that you told him some stuff and yada, yada, yada. So in my mind, even if that was just that, there was already a line crossed. You think maybe you can just let him have this and just let him filter it out? It's so interesting to see. That's what we're talking about in the past. And Marco said he said, I know y'all gonna be talking about other stuff. He said, but you need to ask Vincent anything. He said, and stuff like that. Vincent good at what to do. But I don't think that would bode well in court, because that admission could be seen as, well, if he was having an improper relationship with the assistant, why couldn't he have an improper relationship with the drama? So that's a lot.
It shouldn't have happened. And I told Larry explicitly, leave that boy alone. Now let me go deeper. No abuser operates alone, right? He or she always has a network of people to help them be who and how they are, which is a monster. No abuser operates alone. There is always a network of people aiding and hiding their secrets and abetting in their schemes and dirty work. If you know you are or were a part of such a network, get out while you can. Shumako Bryant, though he appears nice, is not innocent. In my opinion, you know what's worse than someone who stabs you in the back? That same person who hides the knife and helps you clean the wound. Shumako and Larry were boyfriends before I even got in the picture in 2003. And in my opinion, still maintain some sort of romantic understanding or committed relationship. For those who were around in the church days, Mako moved out, and right after he moved out to his own apartment, I moved in to Larry's house. Mako did not like the fact that I was there because he knew Larry would eventually not keep his hands to himself, and he couldn't do anything about it. So guess who had to pay for it because he could not control Larry? I did. Shumako found out about Larry and I when I told him in 2005 during a ride back from Raleigh to Fayetteville, and here is how it happened. Prior to that, Mako and I, wanting to see each other naked, met at the then church musician's house, Antoine Shepard, while he was out of town. Mako, for whatever reason, had a key to Antoine's house, so we went there, stripped naked. We were young and dumb, giddy and childish, but hey, we did it. I thought it was a good time. We didn't touch each other at the time. We just saw each other naked. However, what I thought was Mako being fun and my friend, in reality was him fishing for information on whether or not Larry and I was having sex. He was willing to do anything to find out. And of course, I told it, because at the time I didn't know any better. Mako, as late as 2021, is still the same way, sneaky and sexually deviant. Yes, we flirted. I'm not a superstar in this. He fondled me all the time, playing around, touching me in areas he shouldn't touch me. We've exchanged nudes. The Thursday before the Reformation experience in 2021, Mako masturbated in front of me on FaceTime whilst I watched. He asked me of my thoughts of a foursome between Larry, Kendall, Locklear, and myself. He said it was a fantasy of his. Well, I guess that's a fivesome or quadruplet or whatever, it's five. He even admitted by being caught by Nathan Locklear's now incarcerated son, Day Day, at a gay meetup spot off of Cheshire Bridge Road. Is Mako sweeter acting, portraying way more innocent in comparison to Larry Reid? Yes. But is he worse than Larry Reid, if you ask me? Absolutely. Now, I need to stop to say sorry to Latrice and Lisa. While at this time you both were being dogged by your ex-husbands for what y'all did or were doing, they did it first and literally continued to do it right up under your noses.
And he was going in like, only thing we got in common is X, Y, Z, and this, right, this. And I'm like, what is you talking about? Mm-hmm. That's not a good look. And the way you try to say, I'm the queen of the family, that was degrading. It was disrespectful.
The reality is that their timeline makes no sense to me.
when they say the relationship started and the issues with Marco and Latrice's relationship, it's very strange. Because in my opinion, before we moved from North Carolina, this may not be true, but in my mind, they were already in a relationship under Marco's notes. So in my mind, I feel like they're not truthful, but they could be telling their truth. But from the outside looking in, it looks like you're grown enough to look back and see when this relationship started. Now, what you're telling us sounds good, but the reality is there was a connection, something drawn between y'all before then, because she was spending a lot of time over there. And even from a professional standpoint, Felicia brought a broken relationship with her daughters to our church to be fixed. And Latrice was supposedly one of the keys. That's why her and Felicia was connected. But when I began to notice something else going on, I told Latrice and Shumako in North Carolina a long time ago, I said, keep them at your house. I said, because there's something with lesbian doesn't connect to them. And I even put Felicia under that same, for lack of a better word, spirit, you know, because that's how I was communicating then. It was you and another woman while you married. That should have never been. But it was, and that's okay. So when they tell this story like it's squeaky clean, I don't know who y'all want to believe that. I don't believe it.
Let's talk about Kendall. Kendall is the same, complicit and just as sexual promiscuous, allegedly. I've seen, Kendall, I've seen you with my own eyes nude. You sent a nude to Mako. Mako showed it to me. It was a side profile of you with your back arched and you're on all fours on your bed looking at the camera. I saw it. You know you took it. You didn't send it to me. How did Mako get it? Right. According to Mako, Kendall was caught sending his nudes all over Miami. When caught, Larry wouldn't fire him, according to what Mako told me, because Kendall knew too much. It was a liability to keep him and a liability to fire him. I told you this network is dirty, dark, and deviant. Nathan Locklear, I want to apologize for what I'm going to say next, but your business has been broadcasted to Mako, Kendall, and myself by, I guess at the time it was Apostle Reid, maybe it was Larry. He shared how you were the best dick sucker he's ever had or experienced. He also went as far as to share your nudes with us. They were still shots of a video. I guess you were in front of Larry naked on FaceTime where, well, Larry was recording and sent us the still shots. Now, those of you that are viewers, you may not recognize this, what I'm going to show you, but Nathan knows his body, and I'm sure Crystal does too. Prophet Philip McFeeters, pastor of Life Changers World Worship Center, located in Louisville, Kentucky. According to Larry, Philip and him are also sexually active and emotionally entangled. Are you seeing this pattern? Why do I have a video of Prophet McFeeters drunk, stripping naked while entering a hotel room in Miami? Take a wild guess how I would get that video.
Go ahead, I'm making sure you get in the bed. Go ahead, get in the bed. I'm getting in the bed. Okay. I'm about to go get in the bed. I text me in the morning when you wake up. All right, love you too. I thought you had to pee. I'm gonna pee when I get home. Okay.
Now, honestly and sincerely, I would like to apologize to Philip and Nathan for them falling casualties in this messy web. But if I left them out of the extremes, the point of this video would be for naught. I could go on and on. Junior, the bodybuilder, the, I guess, security, the masseuse, another sexual partner of Larry, according to what Larry told me this past April 2023. Everyone in this picture are the ones I've just named. So if you want to know who is Larry having sex with or some kind of sexual immoral relationship with? Look at those in his inner circle. You ever wondered why Josh Merrills or Cameron Phillips are never invited on these trips? And if they're invited, they never seem to go? Same for back in the church days. It was the men right up under him. Not every man, but those who was close to him, Larry had inappropriate dealings with. I will name the full list later in the video, but Lisa, you remember when you stole the phone? You were texting the wrong men. Lisa, if you would have texted me what you text those other men, I would have responded. Lisa, you were right the whole time. Every time you were being gaslit for trying to break into his computer because you knew he was doing something wrong. It was Mako. It was Kendall. I was there. I saw it. He was doing it with me. He called you crazy. He talked about you. To this day, I've heard you make demeaning jokes about the time you lost your mind because you just knew he was cheating and you were never wrong. And I watched complicit as he made you look like a fool. And again, I say to you, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. All right, let's keep going. It hurts my heart to know so many people sow into the NBN network weekly, only for the leaders of this organization or the head leader to splurge, wasting money, and from what I have heard, promise much to the members or the patrons, yet drop the ball, underperform, or never fulfill the said projects or promises. One example of wasted funds, you might have heard of a recent story of this guy, this former staff member called Lester Peltier.
As it relates to all the rumors that be going on in folks' minds, just be made up in their mind. I am single and I can do what the hell I want to do. But that ain't happening. Larry Darnell Reid. No. I wish I would be fooling up with a mentally ill, I'm talking about a lover of somebody that's mentally ill, poor, not American citizen. I just can't understand what y'all think. Who y'all think I am? I don't understand that. Do you see my ex-wife? Do you see the I know there are beautiful women around me and beautiful men around me. Y'all see that? So then why am I gonna go out and do that? Y'all just need to think just a little bit. I'm not having no lover that you gotta be fine in every way, shape. Come on now. And I'm not taking care of you. That's not happening. Let me explain. Whoever I'm gonna be with, I'm gonna take care of them. But you need to be able to take care of your darn self if I was not in the picture, what I'm saying. No, it's crazy. That is the dumbest thing in the world.
He was put on staff to be a chef for the NBN network. Wallace, there was already a chef on staff, Latrice. Lester is now alleging that outside of the contract, which included housing, transportation, and the regular payroll, he was getting way more from Larry. This Lester story is not adding up, even when you hear it from Larry's mouth.
Eventually, we end up, I was paying for some stay places, but like I said, money was tight. So I said, I can kill for that. You had to come to Atlanta. Right. So he came to Atlanta, which was good because they got the contract marriage. And it was always into something. So it was time for Thanksgiving or Christmas. And Marco wanted him gone, right? He always had on old people there. And he left, he went to his aunt's house and took his stuff. But while he was there, just considering all different stuff that was going on, Marco said, let's send the rest of his stuff there like this, so we can stay a little bit while longer so we can just clear our mind and find out what we're gonna do. It's okay. Well, he started thinking, these people are trying to get rid of me. So he's in New York. Feel like we're trying to get rid of him. He flew back to Miami, but he ended up homeless because he had no money. And he got frostbitten and had to go to the hospital. So he gets mad. And guess who he called? This shit. Oh, Jesus. Huh? We're going to check this out. So when I hear him saying this on the phone, I'm like, let's see what happened. Let me get to the phone call. So he calls Mr. Whitehead. Now, we don't know any stuff that's going on. Come find out Mr. Whitehead was going to pay him $20,000 up front, $20,000 at the end. Flew him back to New York, put him in a hotel room for 3 days. He's going to meet him at 8 o'clock. He called us at 6. All of us had blocked him. By this time, we were going to make a crazy. But he didn't. Mako didn't block him. So he called Mako. And he said, I'm about to, I've got in contact with Bishop Blackhead. We're going to do a story on Reid. And y'all push me to marry Latrice. He's saying all the stuff he needs to say to set up. We're trying to make it a federal thing. Okay. And well, Michael said, well, why are you calling and telling me this? After he got his customer first. I just want Reid to call me, I can't believe he did this. I know this is not how he is responsible. But see, I was trying to tell him in November, so I said, I'm dealing with a whole lot. I can't take care of you and do what I got to do. Right. And so, me, Mako called me and tell me what's going on. I said, okay, well, let me do that. Mako said, Reid, he just wanted to talk to me. I feel like he talked to him this in the kid lounge. I said, I don't give a fuck. Right. I'm sitting in front of me. I said, don't nobody try to make me do something. I said, I'm grown. And I'm about to get off there. He said, no. I said, okay. He called my whole name. And it's like something just clicked. He said, listen to me, Larry, Reid. Call me. So I grabbed the phone and I called him. And as soon as I put it in the phone, I'm so sorry. I got something to tell you. I said, what? Lamar, which is his first name, right. I've been knowing him since 2019. He paid me to get close to you and get inside your business to find out who you are. So this had to let that whole thing go because he didn't go through. So he apologized. I made sure he had somewhere to stay close to my five Orlando. So I had Larry Lappin has some Mercedes in an apartment in the book area.
Now, why would you take care of someone whom you thought was betraying you? Up until April 2023, Larry and Lester were cool because I have the text messages where he was trying to recommend masseuses and Lester was one of the ones he was recommending. He was staying in the apartment financed by your seed sowing. Those of you that are part of Reformation Church, doing what up until June before he was attempted to be kicked out? If you listen to Lester's story, there was no bad blood up until June of last year. The recording is in January of last year. So for 6 months, he was receiving money, something, if anything, lodging on you all's dime. And if patterns don't lie, Larry, your sexual involvement makes sense why you would have your cousin Latrice marry him. Because according to Mako, he never wanted to marry Latrice. But guess who pushed it and darn near made him do it? You did. You've used Latrice twice to lock your boyfriends in. That's not nice.
I asked Patrice, will she be interested in doing a contract of marriage? She was like, okay. She met him. She liked him anyway. She's okay, fine. Of course, she was never trying to have sex. Right. Just have a friendship. Him and Josh getting on there.
Allegedly, the NBN network accountant or ex-accountant was stealing money, hard-earned prophetic seeds. Patrons sold at the word of their prophet, Larry Reid. The accountant's name, the ex or former accountant's name is Eddie Banks. He was able to steal, according to what Larry told me, $6,000 at a time. Now, Eddie, I'm not accusing you of doing it. You got to go ask Larry why he would call and tell me that. All the trips that you've seen me on, I never paid a dime. Not a hotel room, not a meal, not a plane ticket. Thank you, sowers of the NBN network. Every car they drive, the jewelry, clothes, in the houses of not just Larry, but partially the entire leadership is off of the back of the NBN church members, the patrons, the LRL platform supporters. And let me tell you, there's not one household. No one's paying mortgage. Your seeds are being poured into rent. 2 houses in Atlanta, 1 house in Charlotte, 1 house at one time, 2 houses in Miami, 1 house in LA. It was around about, I don't know the exact number, but I guarantee you it was near $60,000 a month at one time that your seed sowing was paying into rent for one man and his team. No one generates a real penny. No one is a true entrepreneur. No one is making a significant amount of money or living outside of the NBN network. It is all off of you. It's not even the YouTube views. They're not that high for him to be around so long. It's all off of you in the Reformation Church and in Patreon. We were watching a video, the producer and I was watching the video yesterday, and one woman sold into Larry and she said, Larry, I sent you all I got. And my heart almost broke because these people believe in you and you are literally raising dark, deviant hell behind the scenes. And I know there are some that's going to keep on supporting you, but I'm just trying to help somebody not make a mockery or fool out of themselves any longer. Now, this doesn't include Cameron and Erica Phillips or Josh Merrills or Felicia and mostly Nathan Locklear, okay? These people are fairly smart and could leave the NBN network right now and live a healthy, profitable lifestyle. Everyone else needs your tithe in your offering, or they wouldn't be able to sustain the life you're trying to sow to get. I have heard more than enough stories of people going broke, being unhoused, and utterly depressed because Larry teaches a type of gospel that subtly demands you give or sow at the powerless word of the prophet with no significant manifestation, which is then attributed to the era of the sower. And for what I understand, the response is, if you're not receiving blessings from your seed, there must be financial sin in your life. Well, can you guess what the solution is to the financial seed sin? Sow again. So you see the cycle. I sow, nothing happens. I feel like I'm sinning. So I sow, nothing happens. I feel like I'm sinning. So I sow, nothing happens. In the meantime, while you're going in that loop, they're in Aruba and Miami and here, we were in LA. We were eating the best steaks off of that loop. I stayed in 5-star hotels off of that loop. Some of this camera equipment I purchased off of that loop. I'm not a hero here. I'm a whistleblower. In my conclusion, I am a gay man. I've had my share of gay sexual experiences, more than I would have liked to have. I've done everything that come to my mind outside of hard drugs. My nose, my allergies, and sinuses will not allow me to do that. That being said, these men I named participating in gay sex is not the issue. Outside of LeAndre, these are grown men. The issue is the lies, deceit, and hypocrisy as they talk about others while doing the same thing themselves. It's Larry dragging Lisa all these years on her mothering and leaving him for a woman when he never even fathered his kids. Kendall, Larry, Latrice, and Mako, and myself did. And you didn't have to leave her for a man. You kept the men in your house the whole time. It was Larry treating Latrice like she was a dirty dog and dragging Deja McBride's name in the mud because Latrice was dating Deja, a younger member in the church, while having at least, the very least, an improper communication with LeAndre Andrews. Also, at the same time, having sexual dealings with Shumako Bryant, Kendall Peacock, Nathan Locklear, D'Amario Hines, and myself, Vincent Hill. Now, I want to say sorry, D'Amario Hines. I wasn't going to put your name in this because as far as I know, you don't deal with Larry anymore or that crew. However, your name was publicly put out by Delquan, and I happened to hear the interview this morning. So I might as well confirm what Delquan was saying. Larry told me himself that one day you came over the house, you laid on the floor, poked your booty out, and Larry dry humped you. And y'all did some other things, maybe some petting or something like that. That's what Larry told me. If it's a lie, go to Larry. If it's the truth, I don't know what to tell you. The point is, this man is a dark, deviant, evil narcissist. In all of these cases, you all's names are dragged in it because he never cared about any of us in the first place. He is sick. These people that have accused him might be liars. They might not pay their bills. They might have issues. They might not be of character. But for the interviews that I saw or heard, none of those people have characterized Larry Reid wrongly. Just because, Larry, you can assassinate characters don't mean that your character is clean. Just because somebody don't pay their bills or they owe somebody money don't mean they're lying on you. Everybody is not lying on you. It's the fact that you act as if you've only tried peeing. You would do it if you wanted to do it. These kind of soft launches so you can come back to your audience and say, oh, well, I told y'all. No. Tell the truth. You kept a 13-year sexual relationship with me. You enjoyed it. You wanted it. And when I didn't want to give it to you, you demanded it. You like men more than you like women. Stop playing with these people. It's the fact that you have done stories on Brian Karn, E. Dewey Smith, Matthew Stevenson, Jamal Bryant, James Hall. I got to eat that one too. Some of these people we did stories together on. Darrell Walls and countless others, while you are way more sinister and dark and deviant and ugly on the inside than they will ever be. This whole idea of the platform being about women and kids, how is that when the woman in your life you've mistreated ever since I've known you and her? And those kids you deal with when you want to deal with them. You all have been lied to. Oh, how can I forget Tdjakes? For peace sakes. Manasseh Jordan, if you are truly, truly trying to wave a banner of integrity or truth, discard your partnership with Larry Reid immediately, or everyone that watches this, mark him as a false prophet, shearing the sheep for gain. If Tdjakes is truly guilty, he won't be brought down by the hands of thieves. In darkness, cosplaying as truth and light. It's not how that works. Bishop Bernard Jordan, if you are as integral and truly a prophet as you say you are, you know I'm telling the truth. You know it. We're Geminis. You know how we roll. Talk some sense into Larry. Sir, if you don't, everyone watching this deem him a false prophet that would rather conveniently receive the seeds off of the back of the poor than to stand up for innocent people who's being trampled over by a dark, deviant psychopath. Do what's right, Bernard Jordan. I know you know it. I know you see it. I see that you see it. Do what's right. Now let me speak to content creators, because everybody getting this. I don't have no friends. Well, I got friends. But in context of this, I'm equal opportunist. I sat back and watched you all cover Larry's stories and make mockery of it. You sensationalize the abuse of others for clicks and views. You interviewed people who were not credible. You were so excited to tell the story. The real truth was lost amongst hours and hours of pointless banter. Lots of shade and other nonsense in your YouTube and Facebook lives. You're wasting time. Stop manipulating the stories of manipulators to grow your channel. If you all would have simply done what I did today, just plainly just tell the story, it would not have been necessary for me to come out of retirement and do what I'm doing right now. To those who are watching, I got something to say to you too. God is tired of the lies. He's sick of the nonsense. Exposure is here. Leave other people's houses alone and get your house in order. Now, I know the majority of you came over here to be nosy. Hi, my name is Vitrell Hill, a soul healer. Welcome to Safe Space. But now that you're here, you are now accountable and responsible for your part in this. Every time you see a video, you like a video, you share a video, you comment on a psychopath's channel, you are complicit to the blood that's on his hands. If I'm telling the truth, if Levantria is telling the truth, poor you're paying for. You're going to pay for it. All right, here's what I'm going to do moving forward. I'm going to do one question and answer live when I feel like it.
Y'all, that's pretty much it with regards to the video that the guy did. Now, I wanted to just come on here and talk about it. Honestly, I was over Larry Reid months ago. There's just a lot of information that I know about Larry Reid that I don't even care to even talk about. The fact of the matter is just like this guy is saying, Larry Reid is a scammer, allegedly. That is what he's saying. He pretty much told you guys that Larry Reid is using the money that he's collecting in offerings for his lavish lifestyle. He doesn't have a job. He's not working. The guy is telling you guys that he's scamming. And this is not new information. He's not the first pastor or so-called pastor. I don't even consider Larry Reid a pastor. I consider him, to me, as a nobody. I mean, he goes on his platform and speaks as if he's this noble, educated person when he's been what is that? What word I want to say? He's been accused of messing with boys, and now someone else is coming out. But this guy, interestingly, it looks like they were in a consenting relationship. How many others are out there that he may have done these things to, who's basically not coming out? I feel like Larry Reid is trash. I feel like he's not living his real life and who he really is. But then again, I don't know him very well. But according to his ex-employee, and ex-lover, he's a narcissist and he is a scammer. So that is pretty much it. And again, I just don't even care to even talk about Larry Reid anymore. The only reason why I wanted to come on here and do this video is because you guys sent it to me. Again, I was so over Larry Reid, based on the situation solely with him and Manasseh. Now, if someone comes to you and say that they were violated or whatever the situation is, the fact that you will go back to that person and tell the person what the so-called victim is saying, and then you're the middleman trying to broker money. I was over anything associated with a Larry Reid. So I don't know. What do y'all think about this? I mean, it's not surprising to me. And what the guy was saying is, Larry Reid is on his platform criticizing the very behavior that he is allegedly a part of. I mean, he's, on his platform talking about Tdjakes. But allegedly, you're kind of in the same sort of behavior, doing the same sort of a thing. So I don't know. Again, he's collecting money off the backs of poor people, which he makes jokes about poor people, but yet and still, those are the people who's giving him donations, because anybody with any sort of money wouldn't give him shit because they can see right through him. The only person that would be donating to him is a broke, poor person with that sort of a mentality that he is using and abusing. So I don't know what y'all think about Larry Reid. Again, I just wanted to come on here and, watch the video again. I think I watched it twice. And that was my third time. And I said, hey, let me just go live and, we can kind of talk about it. But again, I was over Larry Reid. I don't believe anything associated with him when it comes to the word of God. I believe that he's a manipulator, and you guys have to understand there are a lot of pastors out there that use the word to manipulate the body of Christ. And you have to be smart, and you have to know, and you have to pray, because they are out there. They're out there spewing bullshit. Larry Reid, obviously, he's a homosexual. I guess if that's the life he chooses, I guess that's on him. Okay, Vanessa, why is this man airing out this information? You know what, Vanessa, I don't know. And again, I mean, I don't know. What is his reason? That's a great question. What is his reason for airing out the information? Because obviously he was in a consenting relationship. So I don't know if maybe he's just airing out the information to let people know what Larry Reid is doing. I think what he said toward the end of the video is that Larry Reid is criticizing the very people, like different people, and he's doing the same thing, which I can totally agree. Larry Reid has accused Tdjakes. He's talked about other pastors, but what that guy is saying is that Larry Reid is doing the exact same thing. So I believe that was the purpose of his video, but I wasn't surprised by it because, again, I mean, I know some things. I've heard some things about him, and you know, a lot of things are just not adding up. I remember one time he took to his platform and the guy played it in his video, and Larry Reid was calling people poor, and I'm like, well, what is his source of income? I mean, you are a so-called pastor begging for tithes and offerings. So if you didn't have that tithe and offering, I believe you would be poor as well. And that's what the gentleman was saying. He said the money that he's getting is solely tithes and offerings. So I don't know, y'all. I just feel like he's a hustler. I don't look at Larry Reid as a pastor. Unfortunately, I look at him as a scam artist. That's how I look at him. But I don't know what y'all think, but I'll see y'all in the next video.